Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls. I'm back again for the 101st time. I had a 101. I had a 101. 101. 101. We're here. Ole Walls House. 101st time. Back again. Just had that massive episode with a lot of people on. So just me solo. Riding solo today. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who helped with that. Thank you to producer Kevin for putting that thing was massive, so that was a lot of work for him. So thank you to everybody who watched and listened. Appreciate all you guys. So just thank you. I love the support, so thanks so much. Fun show coming, talking NFL, talking getting ready for UFC. We got some college basketball, kind of reacting a little bit to college football playoff stuff. Passing thoughts in there, as always. The housekeeping to touch on, just if you could rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends. Ole Walls House. It's the place to be. And as always, we have Liquid IV, 20% off Liquid IV. Promo code OWH. The show notes will be in the link below. It's a great thing to use 20% off. B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C are the essential vitamins from Liquid IV. 3 times the electrolytes as your leading sports drink? Or is it 3 times double the hydration than normal water? 16 ounces of water in your little Liquid IV. It's perfect for the road. I was on the road. You can take it right with you. Slap it in there. They like equitable access to water. Something like 39 million servings across the world. So get your stuff. Liquid IV. Promo code OWH. That's O for Ole, W for Walls, H for House. At liquidiv.com. All right, let's get to the show. I'm running solo. We're going to do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Let's just take a quick spin through the NFL here. There'll be more, the Packers play on Monday Night Football here shortly. So I'll be, have more to say after that game is finished. Just obviously probably got to start with the Bills and the Chiefs. The Bills get a big win. Keep their season alive. They are now still alive in the playoff picture in the AFC. It was going to be, they were pretty much going to be out, I think, if they lost, and they're going to have to win a lot of games coming home still. But they are alive. They are 7-6 now. There are 11 teams in the AFC at 7-6 or better. Over in the NFC, there's currently only 6. The Packers could move to make it 7 tonight. But man, there's also 2 teams that are in the back end of the playoffs that I think are kind of trash. The Steelers, who just lost to the fucking Patriots on Thursday. Like, God, you are bad. And then the Colts, who I'm not sold on at all. They just lost to the Bengals this week. And you got some teams chasing them that I think are better than the teams out ahead of them. You have the Bills at 7-6, obviously. I think the Bills are the best all-around team of these guys. You have the Broncos at 7-6, and then you have the Texans. So, it sets up that if the Bills can keep winning, I don't know what their schedule looks like coming in. How does it fare for them? Not fantastic. They do play the Cowboys next week. They host the Cowboys. Another great 325 game. They've got a Saturday game at the Chargers, and they host the Patriots, and then they head to Miami to finish up the year. So 2 really tough games and 2 very winnable games. So interesting for them, but huge win for them. The play of the game doesn't count because Travis Kelce catches one and is just up the middle of the field. He's going to get tackled, and he just slings one fucking 25 yards back into the left to Kadarius Toney, who runs in the end zone. The only problem, fucking Kadarius Toney lined up a foot offsides. Like, his whole foot was offsides. I did see Big Cat and PFT were talking about. They've called that penalty 11 times this year already, compared to like twice last year and like once the year before. But my favorite part about it was that like the fucking like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were like bitching about the call. Like, you can't call that there. Like, what do you want to do? Like, that's like blatantly obvious that like you're lined up offsides. And yeah, I get it. You got a rough kind of beat last week when the Packers got away with that, that pass interference call. But hey, maybe you just don't call that there. Like, the refs missed shit all the time. It's a fucking fact of life. But let's not act like the Chiefs haven't benefited from it. And in that Packers game, they had two fucking plays that really benefited them that were poor calls from the officials. First off, Patrick Mahomes was not out of bounds when he got hit on the sideline, and he was still trying to get up the field. And they called that bullshit roughing the passer, or late hit, whatever the fuck they called it. And also, was it MVS, Valdez-Scantling? Was tackled inbounds, and the clock should have been running. So, like, they got the benefit of the doubt there. So I get it. You think you've been wrong. You haven't. You also got a fucking dicey call in the Super Bowl that was pretty beneficial to you late in the game, too. So let's relax. Broncos beat the Chargers. Night game. Cowboys. They come out firing early, and they just don't stop. 10-0 after the first. They make it 17-3, and then they score right before the half and make it 24-6. Eagles get it a little closer in the third quarter from time to time. But Brandon Aubrey, I mean, that guy just was banging field goals. 60-yarder in the first quarter. Then he bangs back another 59-yarder in the third quarter. And these things were high on the crossbars. They were up there. Those NFL crossbars, a little thinner, a little higher. They were up there. Ravens hold off the Rams in overtime. Important win for the Ravens. Kind of sets them up for home field advantage. By the way, it's looking like Pat Mahomes is going to have to play a road playoff game if he wants to make it to the Super Bowl this year. The Saints in the garbage division the win. The Jets just hammer the Texans. Zach Wilson's back, baby. After getting dragged back onto the field after not wanting to play, he is back. Bengals, a win over the Colts. They are still alive without Joe Burrow. Browns beat the Jags. Flacco is back as well. He's just slinging it. In maybe the ugliest game I've ever seen. Vikings and Raiders, that game was trash. Straight up trash. Speaking of straight up trash, are the Lions any good? I'm just wondering, man. I'm just wondering. They just barely snuck by the Saints. They barely had snuck by they got beat by the Packers. They barely beat the Bears the last time they played after barely beating the Chargers. And now they lose to the Bears. I'm just wondering. They don't have the easiest slate coming home. They have to host the Broncos next week. Saturday games in the NFL. They start next week, ladies and gentlemen. Then they head to the Vikings. Then they head to Dallas, not looking like a fun place to be. And then they host the Vikings. So who knows with the Vikings, but the Broncos have been solid. So, yeah. What else? Anything else? Oh, Seahawks got out early on the 49ers, and the 49ers came back. Brock Purdy, not only not a pumpkin, it's starting to make the rounds, but not an original thought here, but we got to start thinking about Brock Purdy for MVP. Oh, also, Mike Tomlin just cannot beat Bill Belichick. He's hang on, I got to find this. Mike Tomlin record versus Bill Belichick. 3-9. 3-9. Interesting. I just don't know. I don't know what the Steelers are doing right now. They're just in one of those limbo lands, I think. I mean, they're in the playoffs. I don't see them finishing in the playoffs. This week is important for gotta get out of the 7th spot. If the Packers can get out of the 7th spot, because that's going to be the Cowboys or the 49ers. That's who they're going to have to play in the first round. Got to get up to the 6th spot so they can play the Lions. Because Cowboys, 49ers, not good. Need to play the Lions, and then you're still going to have to go to the 49ers if you win that game. Unless whoever's in the 7th spot can beat the Cowboys, but unlikely. But At least got to get up to the 6th spot, and you can't fall back down to the slew of 6 and 7 teams. The Saints and the Falcons and the Seahawks and the Rams all kind of sitting there on the bubble. Dolphins also play tonight. I don't know why we're doing Monday night doubleheaders that start at the exact same time, but we are. So okay. We've talked about it. This is the Packers. This is their stretch, man. Like, it's the Giants. They're 6-point favorites tonight. They're going to be favorites against the Bucs. They're going to be favorites against the Panthers. They're going to probably be favorites against the Vikings on Sunday night, and then they host the Bears in the last week of the season, where they'll probably be favorites. So this is the stretch. This is the stretch. All right. I may come back for a halftime, but I'll definitely be back for a Monday night kind of recap. So on to the recap. Halftime update. Not great. The Packers are reverting. Jordan Love just looking like absolute trash. I've got him missing 7 throws already. I have been counting. Yes, that is the thing I've been doing. I have been counting how many fucking bad throws there have been. I was expecting this. I didn't think we were going to be world beaters forever, but Jesus, this is bad. Thank God the Giants' offense is just absolutely awful. On that interception, 2 plays after he fumbled, he underthrew that by like 15 yards. There's been a number of catches. He totally airmailed Jaden Reed in the flat. Not great. In other news, halftime of my final game in my fantasy football matchup against one Zach Place. I need a win to make the playoffs. I'm the second highest scoring team in the league, but I still need a win to make the playoffs. Tyreek Hill playing for Zach Place has been ruled out, I guess, but I'm not ruling it out that he doesn't come flying out of the tunnel. So, update of the halftime situation, pins and needles in fantasy football, and not great, just not great for the Packers in the first half. They do lead, though. They do lead. Okay, I'll be back at the end. Well, that happened. The Packers, in a game that they did everything possible to lose, lost. I mean, I just don't even know, man. Like, there were punts recovered down the goal line that we didn't score. The Giants run a 10-play, 75-yard drive in the third quarter. Packers are then moving the ball in the fourth quarter, and then the drive stalls out because we go with a double reverse, and then miss the field goal on top of that. Love has a guy in the back of the end zone that he underthrows again. And then they get the gift of a century when Saquon just falls over and then fumbles. Doesn't get touched. The Packers drive it back down. Finally take advantage of something. Finally take advantage. And then they get stuffed on they try like another reverse to Jaden Reed on the 2-point play. Malik Heath, absolutely incredible catch. Good throw there from Love. But then, the 2-point play gets stuffed. And then the Packers go prevent on like the first 4 plays, and they just chip it down, and then they're stuck. Then they have to try and press coverage, and they get fucking burnt. And Bullock hits the game winner. And here we are. The Packers lose as 6-point favorites to the New York Football Giants. The G-Men. By the way, they should wear those uniforms all the time. I don't know why they don't. Tommy DeVito, just a masterclass of a game. I mean, he's out here, gabagool. Just, what was his stat line? Pretty fucking good. Not a single sack. The Packers refused to bring pressure all night, and we're just letting him back there. 17-21, only for 158 yards. But 113 rating. Jordan Love, 25-39 for a 76-yard rating. Oof. Oofta, oofta, oofta. 5 of 14 on third down. Not great. Not great. I mean, that was a game to win, and they just didn't show up, man. It was just a bad performance. It was way more of the Packers that we'd been seeing before this little run. I mean, now they have to win out. I would have to imagine they have to win out. I mean, Bucks come to town next week. Bucks and Panthers the next 2 weeks. Oh God, what a disaster! What a disaster! I'm looking at the playoff picture. It says uh, they're still the team in the last spot. I don't know if that'll change. I don't know how updated that is. But they're in the bunch of 6 and 7 teams. There's 5, 6, and 7 teams now. The Saints, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Packers. God damn. Should have won that one. Needed to win that one. And now it's a travesty. This was exactly what Big Cat Bill and I were talking about. You know, when the pressure's on and, you know, you're not just this underdog plucky team, like, you're expected to win games, can you? And as of right now, the answer was no. The answer was no. I counted at least 9 or 10 missed passes by Jordan Love, who just looked awful tonight. LaFleur, some of LaFleur's coaching decisions were, I don't know, weird. Just the insistence to keep running reverses and double reverses all night. The Packers going just straight prevent in that final drive. It was bad. It was bad. In the other game, the Dolphins blow a 14-point lead and lose to the Titans at home. They went up 2 scores with 4:39 left in the game. And then 2 minutes later, under 2 minutes later, the Titans found the end zone with DeAndre Hopkins. And then, you know, under a minute after that, they score again. And they went for 2 the first time. So that the field goal, the extra point, gave them the lead on that second touchdown. Just a wild comeback. Wild Monday night, really. Like, I was like, why are we putting both Monday night games on at the same time? Turns out it turned out all right. Like, I guess they were onto something, and I'm an idiot. In other note, I was able to take down Zach Blaise, our good friend and contributor to the show. Took him down, beat him by 15 points. And I will make the fantasy playoffs. I think I'm going to give up the second scoring. I'm going to fall back to third or so. But I will make the playoffs. I live to fight again another day. Raheem Mostert with a big 23-point game for me. Really helped it. Tyreek Hill injury was crucial to me. But he was projected for 22 points. Even if he got all 12 of those, I would have snuck it out. I mean, you don't know what would have happened if he played a little more, but I snuck it out. I live to fight again another day. I make the playoffs as best as I can tell. All right, there'll be another 7-7 team, and I have outscored him by over 180 points. So I'm in. So at least there's one positive to tonight. So, well, you know, the Packers, I got my hopes up. They regressed again. The ups and downs of this season continue. The 3-game win streak is over, and now it's 6 and 7. 4 wins are necessary. 3 wins are absolutely necessary. 4, I think, is more what you're going to need. Because, I mean, one of those other 4 teams is going to win 3 games. You'd have to think. Let's see. What's the Rams schedule look like? The Rams have the Commanders, the Saints, the Giants, and then the 49ers. So that's beneficial for us. So who else is right there? Seahawks. What do the Seahawks have coming in? I'm less worried about the Falcons and the Seahawks have the Eagles, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Cardinals. So both of those teams have one really tough game and some other very winnable games. Let's just look at the Falcons while we're at it. The Falcons and the Saints, too. Falcons have the Panthers, the Colts, the Bears, and then they play the Saints to finish it up. Now we might as well just look at the Saints and do this, too. The Saints have the Giants, the Rams, the Bucks, and the Falcons. And we also have to keep in mind that the Bucks are in this too because, right? Yeah, because the Bucks are 6-7 and leading their division. So if they'll fall out of that spot, they're alive too. Not good. Packers could have put themselves in a nice position here, and now they're not. All right, I'm done. Guys, the Flyers might be onto something. Man, it's weird. The Flyers have won 4 games in a row now, ladies and gentlemen. 6 of the last 10. The 4 in a row after losing to the back-to-back games against the Hurricanes and the Devils at the end of last week, 2 weeks ago, or however long ago that was. I'm a little thrown off by last week's ep. Back-to-back wins over the Pens. One in a shootout, one in just overtime. Then they beat 2 of the better teams in the league. They beat the Coyotes, who were one of the hottest teams in the league at the time, and they beat the Avalanche, who were on top of the Central Division and do have 34 points to their name. And the Coyotes, a surprising team this year, kind of like the Flyers, but the Flyers are now in second in their division, the Metropolitan Division. A few points back, 7 points back of the division leading Rangers. But they're firmly in the playoffs. They'd be in on the wild card too. Like firmly everybody's right there at like 32, 31 points, but it's happening. Like for some reason, it's happening. The Flyers are playing some good hockey. It feels like Konechny and Couturier are moving it well, getting up the ice, getting some shots on goal. Again, when it comes to hockey, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, let's keep that in mind. But I don't know, man. It seems like we're ahead of schedule here. It seems ahead of schedule. And I'm excited. I didn't get to watch, I didn't watch and play I watched some of the Avalanche game. Roommate was yelling at me. I was watching it in bed and falling asleep. Did not watch Coyotes. That was too late. Someone's here. Boomer's pumped. But yeah, three games this week. The Preds heading to Nashville to play the Preds, who seem to be a solid team just based on the rankings. Preds have not played an overtime game and lost this year. They're hot. They've won 7 of their last 10, so that'll be another tough matchup. Then coming home to host the Capitals and the Red Wings. Capitals right behind us in division rankings. The Red Wings, I believe, are struggling. Am I correct? Aren't the Red Wings in the Western? Oh, no, the Red Wings are in the Atlantic. It's not the Red Wings were in the Western. Red Wings, not struggling. 6-3. They've lost a couple in a row. 6-3-1 in their last 10, though. 32 points, same as the Flyers. So, tough week here. Tough week. Some good teams, and, we'll, again, got to learn more. We're going to learn more every day. A lot of these teams played a lot from now until Christmas. We have 2 games with the Preds, 2 games with the Red Wings, and then the Flyers and Capitals, some division opponents. That takes us into Christmas, so then a little layoff in Christmas, and then it seems to be another little West Coast swing out of that. Quite the West Coast swing coming out of that. Heading to Vancouver, Seattle, Calgary, and Edmonton. So I don't know, man. It's exciting. The Flyers are fun to watch. There is a meme going around. Are the Flyers back? What did it cost? The Eagles. That was pretty funny. So. All right, Flyers, tomorrow, Tuesday, the day the pod comes out, heading to Nashville. See if they can get a big win there and I mean, that's an undefeated week last week, by the way. That was a 3-0 week. That's always nice. See if we can put another winning week on the books. Let's talk some college sports now. We'll do basketball first. The UNC Tar Heels, top 10 team in the nation now, I believe. They did lose a game last week. I believe they only technically played one game last week. I've watched them a couple times here. They beat Tennessee, scored a hundo in that game, beat Florida State on Saturday, and they played UConn pretty tough. UConn's fucking good, man. I haven't seen a ton of anybody else, but this little stretch Carolina is going through. Wowza. Number 12, Tennessee. Number 5, UConn on Tuesday last week. So those are a week apart. Then this Saturday, are they actually hosting Kentucky, or is that at like a neutral site? But they're playing Kentucky. It says it's at UNC. I'm not sure if that's for sure. Then after that, Kentucky's number 14. Then the following Wednesday, they host number 11, Oklahoma. So they're in a stretch here, right to end the year, and then they have a Charleston Southern on December 29th before they get into the league play after the first year. But I've enjoyed watching Carolina this year. They're fun. The Caleb Love split seems to have worked out for the better for both teams. Caleb Love on the number 1 ranked Arizona Wildcats, and I think he's having a good year. His shooting percentage is down, I think MJ and I were talking about. But a couple of nice additions to Carolina this year. Cormac Ryan was a transfer from Notre Dame, I believe. He can shoot the three, can shoot the rock. Elliot Cadeau. Why does he have an ear? Oh, you can pronounce
Elliot Cadeau.
I hope you guys could hear that. Elliot Cadeau. That's kind of cool that he'll pronounce it. Armando Bacot. He's got to pronounce. We're going to do this.
Armando Bacot.
That's funny that there's all these things. What about this Paxson?
Paxson Wojcik.
The guy I really like. Oh, here's another. Here's some more. Pronounce.
James Okonkwo.
Is this his name? Is this his name?
Ferris.
Dewey Ferris. But I do like Harrison Ingram. He's like a wing. He's he's listed at 6'7", 235. Can shoot the rock. Can get to the hole. I've liked what I've seen out of him. RJ Davis was playing good. Seth Trimble. He is. Oh gosh, whose little brother is he? It's not a Trimble. They have different last names. JP Tokido. That's right, JP Tokido, who played for UNC a few years back. Yeah, so they're a fun team. Also, you're allowed to wear. It appears. I mean, there's a 7 and an 8 on North Carolina now, so they've allowed numbers 1 through 10 all together, 00 through 10. I don't think you can do it in that other. In other, I don't think it'd be like 56 or 57 or anything like that, but it's cool. So yeah, UNC basketball, fun. Let's talk some college football now. I don't know how much we talked about this. I talked about it a little bit with the places. They did the thing. They left undefeated Florida State out of the college football playoff to include Alabama, the number 4 spot, Texas, the number 3 spot, Washington, the number 2, and Michigan, the number 1. No questions with Michigan and Washington, obviously. Alabama and Texas is where the controversy kind of starts to rest itself. And, leaving out Florida State, they're undefeated. They were a major conference champion. Granted, it wasn't the best major conference champion, but they were that. And they get bumped. They go from 4 down to 5, while Texas and Alabama go from 7 and 8 up to 3 and 4. Georgia falls out after 1 loss. Oregon falls down after they lose to Washington as well. And then the kind of question is it right? Now, if you're looking for the 4 best teams, if that's the criteria, I would agree that Florida State shouldn't be in, that these 4 teams are probably better than them. But if that's the criteria, Like, are we just going to pretend, like, we're going to say that, and then we're going to pretend that Georgia probably still isn't one of the 4 best teams? Like, that's my issue with this. Like, if we're really going for the 4 best teams, like, one of these teams got to come out so Georgia can go in. And honestly, here's the next problem, is Alabama beats the best team. Texas has beaten Alabama. Yeah, maybe a different team at the time, but, like, how do you tell Texas they can't be there? The big problem with all this is that the people who run college football are fucking idiots. And that when their great idea was we're going to have a 4-team playoff when we have 5 power conferences. It's just fucking stupid. I always said 8 was the number. 8 was the number. And I think, again, this year it'll prove correct that at 8 teams, you'd be looking at Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama, Florida State, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon. The 9th team is Missouri. The 10th team is Penn State. I think in college football, 99 out of 100 times, the 9th team, the 10th team, they're not – I don't think they're real threats to win a college football playoff at 8 teams. I think you can go to 8, and that's plenty. That's all you need. We're going to 12, and I think we're really, like, now you're going LSU, Arizona, Louisville are 13, 14, 15, Notre Dame at 16. Like, I think we've got to the point where, you know, teams that aren't going to get in, like, there's no need to cry robbery because it's just not going to be a thing. But just the fact that college football, which is one of the dumbest things in setup of all time, like, just to begin with, like, for the longest time, they just played bowl games, just these random one-off games. And, you know, occasionally you'd get matched up against the right team, and then we'd vote for a champion. And then they came up with the Bowl Alliance, and then there's the BCS. And now there's fucking people. I'm hearing this now. There's like, we don't need fucking committees. We need a computer. We need people to tell us the metrics. It's like, we fucking did that. That's stupid too. What you need is a qualification system. There needs to be ways for teams to just straight up qualify. And if you had 8 teams, your 5 major conference champions could have got in, and then you can pick 3 wildcard teams. If there's a route to qualify, then you can't bitch about the other selection. And I don't know how it's going to work now. If there's just going to be like your automatic qualifiers get in from the Big 12, the ACC, the Big 10, and the SEC now. But again, when we get to 12, it's really not going to matter. And a 12-team playoff would have been fun this year. So a couple good bowl games on New Year's Day. I want to bitch about the fucking time because, again, the people who run college football are fucking stupid. Why is the first game is starting at 5 p.m. Eastern? You know that motherfucking game ain't actually starting at 5 p.m. It's going to be fucking like 5:30 before it kicks off. It's New Year's Day. No one's going, like, it's not like a day where it's like, oh, you got to wait till fucking prime time. Put that bitch on at like 2 and 6. Like, come 5, and then the second one starts at 8:45, and then I'm sure that's how the national championship. Oh, the national championship is slated to start at 7:30. That's new. I think. I think it always started super late. But good God. 8:45 is when we need to start the second game. So dumb. There's some decent matchups. The Penn State Nittany Lions. We're going to play Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl. That's one of the New Year's 6 games played on Saturday, December 30th. Fun fact, the 6 New Year's 6 games, half of them not played on New Year's. I always love the title of the thing. Capital One Orange Bowl. Number 6, Georgia, plays number 5, Florida State. Could get a little nasty for the boys at Florida State. Georgia coming to town. It'll be interesting how many of the Georgia guys even like what their like participation rate is. I haven't seen anything about it. Ohio State is the only team who's made a New Year's 6 bowl in every year since they've gone to this kind of formula. And then Oregon will play Liberty, the group of 6 team that gets in. Liberty, they say. Any other good teams? The first bowl kicks off on Saturday, December 16th. There are a ton of them that day. 2, 4, 6, 7 or 8. Oh my God, there is an Avocados from Mexico Bowl. Avocados from Mexico. Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. Miami, Ohio versus Appalachian State. There might be too many bowl games, too. I mean, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Georgia Southern and Ohio are playing. All right, let me just find out. Are there any other good games? Any other good bowl games? Like something like the Outback Bowl could be decent. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. I mean, the names. Barstool's got a game again. Toledo versus Wyoming. Toledo! That's a big one for also on New Year's Day. The ReliaQuest Bowl. That's Wisconsin LSU. And then Iowa and Tennessee in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Is the Outback Bowl not a thing anymore? Fucking Penn State used to be fucking Outback Bowl killers. There's the Valero Alamo Bowl. The Pinstripe Bowl. The Pop-Tarts Bowl. How about it? The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. I mean, Fenway. It's cool they play games at Fenway and Yankee Stadium. Cool if they do them in the same day. I'm not seeing an Outback Bowl. How about it? How about it? Okay. Time for my passing thoughts. I think my dog is like addicted to greenies, so we're going to start with this one because we keep him in a cupboard in the kitchen. And he usually gets one, most nights. It's like his calm down thing. He actually freaks out. It's not calming at all. He just freaks out and tosses it around the room. But he'll just come into the house sometimes and be like staring up at the cupboard, be like, "Hey, go get that for me." It's like, okay, dickhead. So we've started an addiction to him. Let's talk a quick couple sports things that just were like standalone topics that are just kind of got fallen here. The Guardians have the number 1 pick in the MLB draft coming up. Turns out Ethan Sexton tells me it's not a year with a definitive number 1 player to take, so perfect timing for the Guardians to pick up that draft pick. I'm sure they'll do well with that. He was talking about an overselling, underselling kind of thing. I don't know. Might have to have him on to talk about it sometime here in the offseason. Shohei Ohtani. Actually, let's do this. John Rahm heading to Live. It seems that kind of the grace period where the Live wasn't going to poach any players is off. There's a slew of people being reported now. But Rahm goes somewhere between $400 and $600 million. Questions about whether that's actual cash or if it's equity in the team that he will likely be running. Undecided if they will be giving him a new team or if he will be taking over a current team and they'll just change the name. Who knows? It doesn't fucking make sense. They traded Matt Wolff for Taylor Gooch. Matt Wolff sucks ass, and Taylor Gooch is the best player in Live. And they just traded him trade up because, fuck it. Fuck it. Why don't I care about Live? That's why. Fucking shotgun makes it hard to follow. I hate the shotgun aspect. Like, what the fuck are you? I know what they're doing. They're trying to condense it into, one TV viewing spot, but, it's no fun. And you trade your best player in the fucking league for a fucking schlub just because fucking Brooks Koepka and him fucking hate each other. That's all it is. Yeah. So, Shohei Ohtani, not to be outdone by John Rahm, gets $700 million on top of that to go play for the Dodgers. The Dodgers. There was a moment where everyone thought he was going to the Blue Jays, and we were tracking planes and things of that nature, and it turned out to not be true at all. We were duped. We were all duped, I tell you. UFC this weekend, I am excited. This is a fun card. First of all, I love Colby Covington, so he's fighting Leon Edwards in the main event. Pumped for that. Tony Ferguson looks to stop his losing streak, is that up to 7? Now, how many fights in a row has Tony Ferguson lost? He will be fighting Paddy Pimblett. So, also excited to see Paddy Pimblett. Let's see. Tony Ferguson, mixed martial arts record, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. 6 in a row. The crazy thing is, I think he'd won 11 in a row previous to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He'd won 12 in a row. From October of 2013 to June of 2019. and had been scheduled to fight Khabib, I think 2 or 3 times in that time frame, and it just fell apart every time. And I think the last time it fell apart was May of 2020, and then Justin Gaethje just kicked the ever living fucking shit out of him for 5 straight rounds, and they finally stopped it in the 5th round. I mean, you look at the people he's lost to, though. It's not like he's been losing to bums. I mean, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush, Michael Chandler, see you at the top, Nate Diaz, and Bobby Green. I mean, Nate Diaz kind of sucks. But, yeah. So, who else we got in this thing? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, Alexander Pantejo, and Brennan Royval in the co-main for the flyweight title. A couple of little guys. And then, like I said, main event, Colby Covington, Leon Edwards. So, yeah. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay. I paused because I just got a text from producer Kevy. I had been texting him about movie posters. I'm looking for some movie posters put on the wall in the basement. And he goes, oh, damn, I wish I would have had mine from back before they got flooded. And he goes, I don't think he survived the flood. And I just got a text that said Judy, who's his mother, said, not sure if any survived. And I was like, what the fuck? Who didn't survive what? And I had completely forgotten about the context of what we've been texting about yesterday and this morning. And I just was like, what the fuck? Somebody died? Speaking of which, another announcement, Drake May's officially going to the NFL. Oh, God. So, all right, continuing on with passing thoughts here. No one's dead except for Kevy's movie posters. Oh, God, dude. Flying when you go to, like, small airports is unbelievable. First of all, no one knows what they're doing. It takes 6 years to get through the security line. Somehow at this one airport in Garden City, they just built a whole new one. But every time I go there, I have pre-check, and they're like, you got to take this out of your bag, you got to take that out of your bag, you got to take your shoes off. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you guys not have a pre-check? Like, I've been to small airports where it's all one line, and they're like, oh yeah, you just get this, we just give you this sign, and you get to leave everything in, and just we proceed like normal. But nope, not this fucking place. Dude, I shit you not. I saw somebody pull a full Tupperware out of their bag, and it was filled with food. I don't know if they were allowed to keep it, but I heard them say, yes, it was 4 things of food. Also, there were like 7 people. How many? There was 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 6 people. 6 people working this airport. This flight, like, I don't even think the plane we were on had first class. Like, it's tiny. There are like 60 of us, and they had 6 people working security. When I go to Madison, it's 1, 2. Madison does 4 at their pre-check gate. 4. Good Lord. Fucking flying in small places. It's wild. Just wild. I mean, a full Tupperware. Did some watch. I've been watching some things. Crazy enough, I just watched Die Hard 3 on that trip for the first time ever. I had never seen Die Hard 3. I think I may have seen like 2 seconds one time. But other than that, never seen Die Hard 3. First time I saw it, liked it. I liked it a lot. I like the Die Hard movies. 1 through 4, I'm all in. I've watched some of 5. I think it's pretty rough. Haven't seen it, but I'm like 90% sure it's pretty rough. I'm watching them in reverse right now, actually, because watched 2 with the roommate the other night. She hated it. Yep. She claims she didn't. I don't hate it, but she hated it. It was very disappointing. I thought she'd like it. How do you not like Die Hard 2? I love Die Hard 2. It's not as good. It's like 1 is here. 2's like here. Like, it's a little layoff, but it's fucking great. It is a great movie. But it's too early in the Christmas season to watch Die Hard just yet. So that's why we went 2 first. I was feeling Die Hard. Also watched Spotlight on that trip. Movie about the Boston Globe, uncovering the Boston Catholic Church priest scandal where they were raping all the kids. Very good movie. Very good movie. Makes you want to just fucking kill somebody. What else have I been watching? For All Mankind, we're a few 5 or 6 episodes into that season now. They just really gave us a nice fucking Debbie Downer episode, that's for sure. Also discovered a new show, Bookie, on HBO Max or Max now. Fantastic, fantastic show. It's Sebastian Maniscalco is in it. He is a bookie. Funny enough, I know that's surprising to you. Wouldn't you think so? Who are some of the other people? The one guy is in Lost. Let's look here. Omar Dorsey is not in Lost, but he's also in the movie. What's that guy's name? Charlie Sheen was in it for a hot second. Jorge Garcia. What all has he been in? So he was in Lost as Hugo Hurley Reyes. I feel like he would have lost some weight stranded on a desert island. He was in a TV movie called Old School. He had a couple of things on How I Met Your Mother, a favorite show of mine. I know him from that. He was on a show called Once Upon a Time. He has been a regular character on Hawaii Five-0 as Jerry Ortega for the last 5 seasons. Or no, that's over now. Main cast from seasons 5 to 10. He's been in any movies? This is a Ridiculous 6. Yeah, so whatever. Bookie on HBO Max. Great show. I love it. Fantastic, if you ask me. Pretty funny. A little dark humor. I kind of like that. A couple of not so fun things. Well, this one's actually kind of funny. We'll start with we'll end with the funny. So there's this is not funny. There's a law in Ireland, and it's like a hate speech bill, and I'm gonna butcher a lot of this. So look it up on your own and get the details. I have, and then I forgot. Like I had this for like 2 episodes ago, and I just kind of missed it. There's a hate speech bill. And the crux of it is that they're trying to make it so you have to give up your password to your phone and social media accounts if they suspect you of hate speech. Like, just if they suspect you. And the person who was kind of in charge of putting this bill into play was, like, giving a speech in whatever assembly or Congress type deal they have in Ireland. And was like, yes, we're restricting freedom for the common good. It's like, that's what we do. Hey, how about we don't do that, you fucking fascist fuck, commie, whatever you want to call him, power-hungry fucking dick face? That's what we're going to call you, a fucking power-hungry dick face. How about you leave us the fuck alone? And fucking people should be able to say what they want. Fucking kind of something I believe in. Fucking between that fucking bitch and Nikki Haley. Oh, she got fucking eviscerated at the debates. Her and Tubbo down there. Don't like either of them. Like what Vivek did to them. Here's a good one. This is funny. This is a funny one. It's another idiot. Apparently, this guy was the education secretary. And again, these both came from so long ago that I don't remember the exact things. And now that I'm looking at them, I thought I'd remember more. I think it was the education secretary. Let me look. I can find it. But either way, this fucking idiot was given some sort of speech. Yes, it was the education secretary, Miguel Cardona. And maybe he was doing this, like, ironically. I haven't, like, totally looked. But he was, like, giving a speech, like, was that Congress or something? It was like, you know, as President Ronald Reagan said, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And I maybe I misread the tea leaves, but it sounded like he was saying that unironically. Like, he was like, I believe that. The Ronald Reagan quote is the 9 scariest words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. He was mocking you. The guy took a quote, a phrase that was made to mock him for the idiot that he obviously is, and say it's a bad thing when people say that. He said those are the fucking scary words, and they are. Because when the government comes to help and their solution, it usually brings more problems. Okay. I'm off my soapbox now, guys. What else? Okay, I think we're good here. All right, let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, everybody who's watched and listened for over 100 episodes now. I appreciate you guys. A huge thanks again to everybody from last week's episode 100. I think it was massive. Bruce Kevin did a great job fucking throwing that together for us. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody. Back next week. Going to be talking, some more football, some more basketball. There is a UFC event we're going to talk about. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. So until then, peace.